The front row is occupied by the Team Penske power duo.
Will Power winning the pole and Joseph Newgarden starting outside of him.
Will Power has the power, and he's gone.
Tim Cindric and Mike Hull both very aggressive on the radio, telling both of their drivers, Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon, be liberal with the push to pass. Right now, they're 24 seconds above everybody else.
Newgarden stayed out, so he might have an opportunity to jump him in the pits.
Here is Joseph Newgarden.
A move by Tim Cindric that could flip the track position in this race and give Joseph Newgarden the lead.
Newgarden is going to come out in the lead,
and his pace right now is kind of next level.
Joseph Newgarden,
second class today.
He wins in St. Petersburg.
That's awesome to get a win first of the year.
We'll talk about Joseph Newgarden and St. Pete in just a moment, but you know the 2019 IndyCar season, no question, off and running. In just 66 days, all eyes will be on the Brickyard for the Indianapolis 500, and that means busy times for IndyCar President Jay Fry, who joined our Steve Letarte for the latest edition of his Letarte on Location podcast.
I've never been to an Indy 500. I've been to the early Brickyards. It was fascinating. I mean, the Indy 500 is a standalone event. I mean, what's it like for me? I want to know what it's like for the president of IndyCar for the Indy 500. I mean, it must just be the biggest thing possible.
Yeah, well, it's a world stage, right? So that I mean, you bring your A game to every event we go to, every venue we go to, but this is just the magnitude of the facility of everything we do here is just bigger, right? So it's a spectacular race, it's a spectacular venue. It's hard to describe until you've been here to see it one time for yourself.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So just think about 33 cars, 11 rows, 11 rows deep at 3, going into turn 1 the first time. I mean, it's the intensity level just in race control about watching what we're doing and paying attention to what's going on in the spotters that we have throughout the facility. It's game on. I mean, it's as intense as you can get.
Bucket list. It is said there are 3 parts to an IndyCar season: the run up to the Indy 500, the month of May, which you've experienced, and then the race to the championship. So part 1 continues Sunday in Austin. Let's talk about what we're going to see this weekend. I've read this track state of the art. Can you guys sort of take me through it?
Well, it is, because it's one of the newest facilities in America. It's obviously the Formula 1 race for the U.S. Grand Prix, and therefore it's a very nice facility. It's one of the nicest facilities we have, and here we have a cool animation where we're going to fly down into Austin. Now we're above the track, and you're going to see turn 1 there, elevated up. Then you go into these S's, high downforce needed. Then you head down the hill to turn 11, and this long straightaway all the way to turn 12. Can't wait to watch the IndyCars race there. Then a bunch of twisty bits, AJ, that you and I get confused on iRacing all the time.
Twisty bits.
And then you end up all the way back at turn 20 and heading towards the start-finish line. And this is you and I were talking earlier, it's a tough track. And one of the things that I'm excited about that backstretch for the IndyCars is that braking zone to turn 12, because the draft they're going to have, the push to pass down that back straightaway and then out-braking each other in turn 12. I mean, I think that's going to be a very interesting corner throughout the race.
It really is. In the start of the race, a rolling start going up to turn 1, which TV doesn't do it justice, how much elevation is up to turn 1 into a blind corner, really. So there's a couple of great passing opportunities on that racetrack, but these Indy cars, the way they draft, it's really going to just suit these cars. And talking to some of the drivers after the test, I mean, they couldn't just stop raving about the racetrack.
Yep.
Just what the fun ability of driving the racetrack, being around it. The race itself is going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
It's a world-class facility, and you said it best. It's just a cool place to drive a race car.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's cool. As race drivers, we want places like that even if we're by ourselves in testing, you get out with a smile on your face saying, this is an awesome place, and that's what COTA is.
Well, and there's some races where, the storyline is all about the drivers, which weren't, it should be. But there's some races where the venue sort of becomes it comes to life, literally, sort of becomes a character within the race. It sounds like that's going to happen this weekend. But let's talk about some of the characters that are behind the wheel.
Do that again for me? Yeah, that one.
That's why I do this and not this. Joseph Newgarden. I mean, like you heard in the piece, there's no better way to start the season.
Yeah, and Joseph Newgarden had just such an up and down year last year. He did win races, but his bad races were bad, and Roger Penske doesn't like that. So I really feel like Joseph, in the offseason, put so much more work in, and he always does put a ton of work into it, but seeing him on social media, how hard he's working out, everything that he's doing to prepare for this season, it showed at St. Pete, and he went out there, qualified second or third, I believe, but more importantly, They took an alternate strategy to where when he got some clean racetrack, he pumped out the fastest laps of the race. So when they pitted, came back out in the lead, and he just set sail from there.
So the way I look at this weekend is it's Team Penske versus everyone else.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like that over the racing world right now, essentially, in NASCAR, IndyCar, V8 cars, IMSA. But the thing is, they have been the benchmark here as of late. And when they go to a track like this that rewards some of the things I feel like those cars do really well, the things that they are able to maximize through the high-speed corners, find the braking stability, those are the things that Team Penske just has been doing very well. So when I look at this race, it's who can rise up. And you and I were talking about testing, and one of the cars that we noticed really fast is Alexander Rossi, right? And so for me, I look at that and say, okay, does that mean the Andretti cars as a whole could be a contender against Team Penske? So that's what I'm going to be interested to see. I mean, I think the tests will reveal some things, but can Alexander Rossi, can Andretti rise up and sort of show this early in the season, yes, we can contend with Team Penske at a track like this that might reward some of the things that their cars do really well.
Critical weekend for Ryan Hunter-Reay as well. He was quick at St. Pete and had a motor failure, so really has to go into this weekend on attack mode, trying to get back a lot of those points that he lost. That was of his own undoing, basically. So it was something that those cars are going to be fast. Another kid, because he's only 18 years old.
I was waiting for this.
Colton Herta for Harding Steinbrenner Racing led 3 out of the 4 sessions when they tested there. Alexander Rossi led the 4th, but he was second in that session. So he was really good at St. Pete, smart on a tough street course, kept the car on the racetrack, finished inside the top 10. Can he go to COTA and show the speed that he showed at testing and maybe surprise some people?
And the driver who's supposed to be his teammate, Pato O'Ward, is going to be making his first start this weekend as well, so expecting big things out of him. He showed a lot of speed last year at Sonoma when he was teammates with Colton Herta, and so I think it's a very exciting time for him to be back in IndyCar on a limited schedule and getting his first start of the season at this big race at COTA.
So what I learned, no question, IndyCar a must-watch this weekend, not just because of all those names, as you see Pato there, but the track itself, just to see. I mean, IndyCar's first time, the debut at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, is going to be cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I think this is just, as I said, I think it's a world-class facility that IndyCar belongs at. It's in America, and IndyCar is some of the fastest cars in America. They belong at the Circuit of America. So I think this is going to be really worth tuning in for.
I told you, I'm locking myself down on the couch. This is happening. I'm watching it all. So it's going to take IndyCar, I feel like, to a new level, being at a facility like this, and the drivers are going to show how awesome this series is.
Well, I know what you're watching or what you're saying. You're like, how can I watch? I mean, I'm in. I want to join AJ on the couch. Stay on your own couch. Don't join him on his couch. Here's a look at our weekend coverage.
Come join me.
All practice and qualifying sessions will be streaming on NBC Sports Gold. NBCSN will also carry qualifying on Saturday and then coverage of the IndyCar Classic starting Sunday at 1 Eastern.